Alrighty then. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Matthew Baker of Beautiful New York Tours. Today's topic, the request for today's topic, was brought by a fellow tour guide, a lady that I have had the pleasure of knowing and occasionally working with, off and on, for the last 10 years. It's one of the great joys of working in the tourism trade is that you get to know and become friendly with other people in the industry, and once in a while even get to take each other's tours. That's a perk that especially happens when you also work as a tour director. You know, the director is the person who goes over the road with a group traveling to another city, and then they meet the tour guide, which is someone like me. They're the local experts who welcome you to their homes and celebrate and examine their homes with you and for you. So it is not unusual for guides who also work as directors to, get to take other guides' tours, and that is how a friend of mine from Canada and I got to know each other, and she asked me if I would do a video on the Woolworth Building because it was her favorite building in New York, and I said, I love the Woolworth Building, so sure. The Woolworth Building downtown near City Hall, in addition to being extraordinarily beautiful, is also rather unique in an interesting way because it's Gothic Revival architecture done in skyscraper form. And you don't see a lot of that. When it was first illuminated in 1913, it was dubbed the Cathedral to Commerce. And to look at it, one can see why. F.W. Woolworth, the great five and dime store magnate, paid for the building in cash, millions and millions of dollars in 1913 dollars in cash, because he could not get the bank loan that he sought for what was seen in those days as a rather risky real estate endeavor. So he simply handed over suitcases of cash to pay for the building, and it was at the time the tallest building in the world, and it remained the tallest building in the world for 17 years until 1930. The terracotta that is all over the building is beautifully intricate terracotta. Terracotta means baked clay, essentially, and you can sculpt it into all kinds of fascinating forms. So there's all this beautiful encrusting on the building, including what I like to call faces on places. Now, these are not gargoyles. Gargoyle is a much more specific architectural feature. These are what the proper architectural term for these are grotesques, though, of course, aesthetically, one might feel that they are anything but. But the grotesques on the Woolworth Building are often quite whimsical. In the lobby, we have a depiction of F.W. Woolworth counting his money, and another one of the architect Cass Gilbert, who's done many great buildings. He did 3 state capitals and the Supreme Court building in Washington, but also several wonderful buildings in New York, including the New York Life building with its signature gold pyramid, and the former U.S. Customs House, which is traditionally seen as the most representative example of Beaux-Arts architecture in the city. But my favorite of his many extraordinary buildings is the Woolworth Building. The lobby where these grotesques are found was off limits for many years. There's a rather bluntly inhospitable sign out front, "No tourists beyond this point." The ethics of cutting off public access to an officially designated New York City landmark have been debated for quite a while, but in recent years the landlords have softened a bit, and they have opened up the lobby to guided tours, which they sponsor, and these tours are led by very talented, very skilled, and very qualified guides. One of them currently is the vice president of the Guides Association of New York City, and he's absolutely brilliant, and I highly recommend his tour. But frankly, any of the tours that the Woolworth Building sponsors are very good. But it's only through them that you can tour the interior of the building. An exterior tour that I could lead you on would include an architecture tour of the city, any kind of downtown financial district tour of the city, and also any tour that focuses on movie locations and entertainment. A lot of you know the Woolworth Building. You've seen it in Fantastic Beasts and How to Find Them. You've seen it in the TV series Ugly Betty. My favorite use of the Woolworth Building in the movies is at the end of Enchanted, the Disney movie Enchanted. The climactic scene with the dragon is set up at the spire of the Woolworth Building. So once we are able to take physical tours, please check me out at Beautiful New York Tours. You can search Beautiful New York Tours on Facebook or email me at baker.tours@yahoo.com. Again, that is baker.tours@yahoo. Thank you very much.